Hello, everyone. I'm going to just give everybody a couple minutes here to log in, and then we will get started with our webinar today. All right. Okay, so hello and welcome again. Thank you everyone for joining us at Intuit's Insider Look series, a day in the life of a remote QuickBooks Live bookkeeper. My name is Marissa, and I'll be your moderator for today for about the next half an hour or so. And before we get into all the information I know you're all here to listen to, I just want to go through a few housekeeping rules before we do get started. So if you take a look at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see a QR code. I'm sorry. First, we're going to talk about the Q&A box. I apologize. So there is a Q&A box. It'll say Q&A. Please feel free to add any questions that come up here during our presentation. Our team will be answering questions live in that Q&A box during the webinar. Now on to the QR code. So you're also going to notice a QR code that's going to be on the corner of every slide here today on the slide deck. At any point during our presentation, you can feel free to scan that code and then go ahead and apply to be a bookkeeper if you are interested in joining the team. Any of our questions today that are dropped in that Q&A box that do not get answered, we will make sure that we do follow up with you post-webinar, along with sending you out a recording of the webinar. And with that, let's go ahead and jump in to our agenda. All right. I promised we'd get into the information, but I'm going to review our agenda for today so you know what to expect. We'll start with some introductions so you can get to know our panelists. I'm also going to talk a little bit about Intuit and who we are as a company. We'll talk about what it's like to be a real QuickBooks Live bookkeeper from an actual bookkeeper at Intuit. Someone who's done the job and can explain what the day-to-day looks like. We'll make sure that you know the steps to get your QuickBooks Online certification. So this is something that you will need in order to do the job, but you do not have to have it today, and we're going to teach you how to get one. We'll also go through the entire recruiting process and give you some helpful tips to follow for conducting a successful interview. With any time that we do have left at the end, I'll make sure to do a Q&A session to ensure that you have all of the information you need in order to get yourself on our incredible team. Before I start, I am going to say that we're going to cover a lot of information. We want to make sure that you feel good about, understanding Intuit, QuickBooks Live, the role, and make sure that you have a firm grounding as to what you can expect when you do apply. So stay with us and ask questions as they do come up. This information will really help you get that full scope and background you need in order to be 100% certain when applying for the position. As promised, we're going to move along to some introductions. So, who are you hearing from today? I would like to bring our amazing team of panelists onto our virtual stage here to introduce themselves. So please, if you would join me on the virtual stage, Viviana and Laura.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you all doing today?
Good.
Awesome. Our virtual stage here is complete now. We're going to go around and do our introductions. So if you could please introduce yourself, including your role, how long you've been with Intuit, what you do with us here at Intuit, and where you're calling from today. Let's start with Laura.
Super. So my name is Laura Lowell, and I am calling in from Dallas, Texas today. I have the pleasure of working out of our Plano office location. I have been with Intuit for 7 years, and right now I am a senior recruiter on the QuickBooks Live Expert Network.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right.
Hello.
And Viviana, would you like to go next?
Sure, thank you. Hi, I'm a QuickBooks Live Associate Bookkeeper. I'm also a military spouse. I've been with Intuit for 2 years, and I have had the privilege of working in the books for several clients who use our services. And today I am calling from North Carolina.
That's awesome. You both are calling in from a much warmer location than I am today. So I'm calling in from Wisconsin. And I first joined the team about 7 years ago, and I actually was working with the TurboTax hiring group. And then I hired the first 10 QuickBooks Live agents for our pilot program, and that's evolved into the team that we do have today. I've moved around quite a bit and done different roles, but now I'm back with QuickBooks Live after some successful recruiting seasons. And I love supporting Intuit and being a part of this group. So thank you both for the introductions. And we are going to go ahead and move right along. Okay, so why work for Intuit? Let's jump into a little bit about us, the benefits, and why you should work here. All right, so Intuit is one of the top companies to work at. And of course, you don't just have to hear this from me. You can learn why we're a top company to work at from many distinguished organizations that have ranked us a best place to work. Among other recognition this year, Fortune magazine recently ranked us at number 14 on their 100 best companies to work at in the US. Forbes also lists Intuit as America's best employers for diversity. This has a lot to do with many things: how we treat our employees, how our employees are evaluated, paid, and the ability to make sure each employee has a successful career in terms of growth and recognition. QuickBooks is a major reason why you all are here today, which means you've likely all heard that QuickBooks is the #1 global rated small business development tool that exists in the marketplace today. QuickBooks is the powerhouse behind small businesses and self-employed individuals around the globe to make sure they're running their businesses in a sound financial way and they're able to understand the work that's being done to their business. So, other than Intuit being a top company to work for, why is this a job you should be interested in? Even in today's economy, the need for both QuickBooks Live bookkeepers to join our team only continues to grow. Unlike other jobs in the market today, our roles here have been stable and continue to be resilient to the economy year after year. And now I'd love to bring our QuickBooks Live recruiter on to speak to the specific benefits that you'll get if you accept a job with us, and to discuss the job requirements for our bookkeeper role. Laura, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Thanks, Marissa. All right, so what do you get if you come work for us? First and foremost, right, all of our roles, you will get to work from home or your home office. So these are fully remote jobs as long as you are located in the US. You can work anywhere you'd like. Now, QuickBooks Live also gives you the opportunity to earn extra income while setting your own hours. Now, those hours are within Monday through Friday between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Pacific. So you'll sign up for the amount of hours that you want to work and then get paid for those hours. This role is built out to be an incremental job or a side gig for you so that you can own and operate your own business while making extra income on the side. Over 75% of our bookkeepers have their own business outside of their role here at Intuit. So this is extremely common that people have their own business and work with Intuit on the side to earn extra money, as well as get those additional perks of the Intuit benefits. Now, no matter how many hours you work, well, let me take that back. You do have to work a minimum of 20 hours. You will receive great employee benefits, which include medical, dental, and vision. You'll also be able to participate in our 401k savings plan, where Intuit will give you $1.25 for every dollar that you put in. And you will also have opportunity for bonus incentives to participate in our employee stock purchase program. You're going to get a little bit of paid time off, including your birthday. And you'll accrue paid sick time, as well as a new benefit that was just added this fiscal year. You will be able to accrue vacation time. Can you believe this? This is all for a part-time role. So this just speaks to one of the reasons why employees love to work here. Okay, so let's get into it. What positions do we have available? Next slide, please. All right, here's our bookkeeper position. Now, again, you can work anytime from 20 to 40 hours per week. So 20 hours is that minimum requirement. This is a year-round role, so it's not seasonal like some of our TurboTax roles. You must reside in the US. You will select a fixed schedule, which means you'll choose a set schedule that you'd like to work within our QuickBooks Online regular business hours. And again, those are Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific. So there are no weekend shifts. Now, in terms of what is required, there are 3 requirements to be considered qualified for this position. We do require that you have a minimum of 1 year of prior experience working with QuickBooks Online, an active QuickBooks Online certification, and then 3 years or so of managing books for small businesses. Now, some big bonuses on top of these requirements, which are great to have but not required, would be a bachelor's degree in accounting or finance, an active CPA or CPB, as well as being bilingual in Spanish. Now, we're hiring right now, so if you're interested in this role, definitely scan that QR code. Back to you, Marissa.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Laura, for covering the benefits and requirements of our available positions. All right. So again, with your expertise, small businesses can focus on their business, not their books. You, as a bookkeeper, as a CPA, as an accountant, can do what you're really good at and help small business owners with their finances and books so that self-employed or small businesses can focus on their small businesses and what they're really good at. I always like to talk a little bit about my aunt who owns a small-ish trucking company in Illinois. It's grown quite a bit. And when she first started, I worked for her and we would handwrite everything And when the day finally came for her to get QuickBooks, it was a game changer for her. And now that she's grown so much, to have the option for QuickBooks Live bookkeepers to then step in and assist her even further is wonderful for her. And it allows her to keep that passion and keep her trucking company growing, which she's been able to do while she's not having to worry, about her books or the smaller things that she might not be as passionate about. And that's, definitely why we need a virtual network of professionals like you all to help our small business owners manage their books while they manage their business. Next slide, please. All right, so coming up next is our guest speaker, Viviana. And again, like she mentioned, she is a QuickBooks Live Associate Bookkeeper who was once in your shoes applying for one of our remote roles here at Intuit. Before I do bring her up, though, I do want to go ahead and play a short video to show what a typical day in the life is like for our employees. All right. So now I want to go ahead and welcome Viviana back onto the virtual stage to talk about her career journey within Intuit. Welcome back to our stage, Viviana. Again, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you.
All right, perfect. Okay, so can you just give us another little introduction to yourself, a little refresher on your role, and then how long you've been here at Intuit, please?
Okay. I'm a QuickBooks Live Associate Bookkeeper, and I've been with Intuit for 2 years.
Awesome. All right. Okay. So, can you give us a little bit of a description on what a typical day looks like, especially when you started out as a bookkeeper? So, what did your workday consist of, and what should the folks on the call today expect when you first join Intuit as a bookkeeper?
Okay. When I first joined Intuit, I met with other new employees via Zoom, and we were given different scenarios of how to work in QuickBooks Online, which was super helpful and amazing. I learned a lot in the trainings that we were assigned to. We had different training modules to complete on our own. They also had modules that went over company policies and a little bit more of like QuickBooks Online day-to-day kind of things.
Okay. And after training, then, when you did get into, the day-to-day and assisting customers, did that day-to-day kind of look very similar to what you were doing in training, or could you just elaborate a little bit more on your daily?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. So the one thing that I was really nervous about, to be honest, was I was afraid that I wasn't going to know all the answers. But it's just so incredible to know that within your team, you have tons of people that can help you. So if you do ever get stuck, I got stuck a couple times. I'd ask my leads, I'd ask some of my other um, bookkeepers as well, and just kind of be like, hey, I don't really know how to resolve this issue. Can you help me? And they would help me. So the training modules were really helpful because I could go back and kind of go through again and then remember, okay, this is how to resolve that issue. And if that didn't help, then again, I would just go to my lead if I needed extra help. So that was really helpful.
No, and that's really great, especially with us being a, virtual predominant, company. It's
Mhm.
really awesome to know that you have all those different resources, at your fingertips and you
Yeah.
aren't alone and no one knows the answer to everything. So I don't think you're alone. And we kind of talked about resources, but I do want to ask, when you first started working here at Intuit, what equipment were you provided? And as far as resources outside of your lead, could you tell us a little bit more about that as well?
Yes. So I was provided a laptop, this headset, a USB portal to connect my headset or laptop charger, things like that. Um, Other resources that I was able to use every Tuesday, we actually have trainings which are super helpful, and they have a link to the trainings. So if you miss a Tuesday or if you couldn't get to there, they also have it on Thursdays. And they're constantly trying to help us and say, hey, this is how we can resolve this issue that popped up, or we've encountered that, a lot of people need more help with this specific topic. So that has been super helpful. I love that there's a link to everything. And again, we're not left alone to figure it all out. Your leads managers, the people who have the training sessions, will actually link the trainings. And so you always have everything that you need.
That is awesome. Wonderful. So let's talk a little bit more about you and your career. How has Intuit helped you grow your career? And I know that you're an associate bookkeeper here at Intuit. So, how are you able to make that transition?
Yes. So working at Intuit has been so amazing for my career. I love working here because we are a military family and we actually have moved once since I joined Intuit. I was really nervous. I
Oh,
joined October 2021 and then I found out in November that we were moving in February. So I was like, no, oh my gosh, they're not going to want me. They're going to say, like, sorry, we got to let you go. But that was not the case. And that's why I love working with Intuit. Even after the move, I actually still had my job, which was awesome, and I was given more responsibilities, which like was really mind blowing to me. The opportunities here are literally endless. I feel so confident with QuickBooks Online, and I know I've mentioned it a couple times, but I feel like I'm always learning, and that's another reason why I feel more confident with QuickBooks Online, and I feel like a better bookkeeper. My current goal is to become promoted to a senior expert QuickBooks Live Bookkeeper. So I've talked to my manager about it, and she knows and understands the steps that I need to take to pursue that. So again, another like awesome example of why you want to work at Intuit. They definitely want their employees to strive. So it's awesome.
no, that's awesome. And I love that you're able to be on the same page with your manager and they are able to help you map out a career progression. So that's so good to hear. And now I'd like to shift our conversation just a little bit to the culture here at Intuit. So you've heard me speak towards, awards, brand recognition, all of that as a company, but I'd just like to know your thoughts on the culture here and how you would describe it.
I would definitely describe the culture at Intuit as very supportive. Intuit truly wants their employees to prosper. Like I said earlier, there's so much help and guidance in many ways, not just for the clients that you're working for, but also just for yourself in general. Everyone looks out for each other. If you want to get promoted, there's no fighting over positions, which is amazing. I've never encountered that before. Higher management helps you in the direction to achieve your goal. Intuit also has ERG networks, and these networks are safe spaces where you can feel like you're at home. For instance, I'm a part of the Intuit Military Network, the Intuit Latino Network, and the Intuit Indigenous People Network. So I think the culture that Intuit just has in general is they really want everyone to just feel included and seen, which is amazing.
That's awesome. And for everyone on the call, can you just explain the acronym ERG and just tell us what that stands for?
Oh my word.
We have a lot of acronyms here, so I get it.
We do okay, I'm so sorry if I get this wrong. Is it employee resource
Yes, group.
Group.
okay, group. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
No, you're totally fine. We obviously have a lot of acronyms, so thank you. And it's awesome to know you're a part of so many. So that is wonderful. Um, all right. What perks or benefits do you enjoy the most here?
I think my absolute favorite thing are recharge days and the flexible work schedule for sure.
Yes, I do have to agree with both. I think it's fantastic. Recharge days are just like a nice gift.
Hmm.
Okay, and then the biggest one. What about working from home? Can you please explain what that's like for you?
Yes, working from home is so important for our family. Like I mentioned it before, we are a military family, and because we don't have immediate family around to help when my husband's gone, it's so important that I was able to find a job where I was home. Working from home allows me the opportunity to be here for our elementary aged kids. And if I need to take them to appointments or whatever else, if I need to pick them up because they got sick from school, I have that flexibility, which is so amazing. Um, I don't really feel like I've had that before in past employers. It was a little bit more rigid. So the flexibility of working from home is just like literally incredible. Working from home, kind of starts with waking the kids up, getting their lunches, taking them to the bus stop or driving them to school. With my schedule, after I do that, I get to go work out and then I come home, I get ready for work, I work, and then I go pick the girls up. After I pick them up, we get home and we have like about 30 minutes where they just get to chill, do whatever they want. And that's like the end of my shift. So after that, then I make dinner.
That's awesome. I love that schedule. Okay, so is there any piece of advice that you would like to give the folks on this call today who are interested in taking the leap to Intuit?
Yes, I highly recommend working at Intuit. I tell everybody, like even my neighbors, I tell them, you guys, Intuit is the best. It's so amazing. The flexibility in the schedule is awesome. The leadership is wonderful. There are so many great perks to working at Intuit. If you're worried about not knowing everything, it's totally okay because it's true, we don't know everything. Um, and just being willing to learn something new every day is really good. Um, Also, don't be afraid. You will not be alone. We are a team. Like when Intuit says we are a team, we are literally a team. And it's just so amazing to have that support. Um, yeah, I think that's like my biggest thing. If you're nervous about it, just like go for it. You will love it. I promise you.
That's great advice, of course. Go for it. You never know.
Mm.
And thank you very much for answering all my questions and, having this conversation here today on our virtual stage.
Thank you.
It was great to connect with you and hear about your experience at Intuit. So thank you again for sharing.
Mhm.
If anybody does have any additional questions for Viviana, please go ahead and ask them in that Q&A chat box. She will definitely be happy to respond to them. And if she can't get to all of them today, of course, we'll make sure that we do follow up after our call. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and move along. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Laura, who is going to walk you through the QuickBooks Online certification and recruitment process. But first, we have a poll, and we would like to know, how many years of experience do you have working with QuickBooks Online? So we're going to pop this poll up onto the screen here. And it is multiple choice, so you have options. So how many years of experience do you have working with QuickBooks Online? We have 5+, 2 to 4, 1 year, or none of the above. And I'll give everyone a couple moments to answer. And you can only choose one. I'm sorry. Did not mention it. All right, a little bit more time here. All right, I think we have a good amount of people. Let's go ahead and close the first poll. Don't worry, we will have some more options here for the polls. And it is super close on almost all the answers. So it looks like our top answer is going to be between 2 to 4 years with 31% answering that one. So thank you all for participating. We will have a few more polls here today, so don't worry. Everyone's going to get a chance. All right, so as promised, we are going to go to our next slide, and I'm going to pass it off to Laura to tell us a little bit more about the certification.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, how do you get this QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor certificate, which is a requirement for the role? Good news is it's free for you to complete. Now you can do this in as little as 8 hours, and it's at your own pace, so you can spread that out across a few days if you prefer. However, the reason that we have this requirement is that it helps us to honor our promise to our customers that they will be connecting with an expert in QuickBooks Online, ensuring our customers are being provided the best expert service and experience possible. So we do require that you are trained and certified as a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor. All right, so how do you get started? Next slide, please. Okay, so first step is to sign up for a QuickBooks Online accountant. If you do not have one yet, you can get one for free. The steps are very simple, and the link to sign up has been provided in the chat and on the slide deck as well. Now, again, please note, you do not have to own your own firm or have a QBOA account. You can sign up with your own name when it asks for your firm name. The second step is to complete the training modules. There are 8 total modules for the basic, which is what is required for the role. And it's important to review all the information that is new to you. Again, the training is self-paced, so you can review the modules at your own pace on your own time in the order that you would like. You'll just click on the self-paced icon in the training section once you've logged in to begin. And the last step is to go ahead and take that exam. Now you can skip straight ahead to this step if you feel that you're prepared and you don't need to go through any of the training, but there are a few exam rules that you should be aware of. You can start anywhere, but you must finish anything that you start. Meaning once you begin a section, you won't be able to walk away before handing in your answers, or you'll lose your progress. So be certain you have time to finish any section you start, and make sure you have a reliable internet connection. You'll need to achieve 80% or higher on each of the 5 exam sections to pass the total exam. So if you don't pass on your first try, your next attempt will include only the selections that you did not pass. Now you get 3 attempts to pass. If you don't pass all sections after your 3rd try, you will have to wait 60 days before you're able to take the full exam again. Okay, back to you, Marissa.
Okay, so as promised, we are going to go right into another poll. All right, so this is going to ask about the certification. Are you currently certified as a QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor? Yes. No, I was previously certified, but not currently. No, but I am interested in being certified, or none of the above. We'll go ahead and take a few moments here to answer this as well. Okay, let's close down this poll and take a look at our answers here. All right. So, no, but I'm interested in becoming certified is a top answer. So, Laura did an awesome job explaining how to get that certification with so many people interested in receiving it. And we actually have 20% of people here on the call that are already certified. So, thank you all for participating. And I'm going to actually go ahead and pass it back over to Laura, and she's going to talk about Intuit Academy a little bit here and just some additional training we offer.
Yes. All right. We offer free bookkeeping courses through the Intuit Academy. So great place if you're interested in learning more. It is your one-stop shop for all things related to learning and growing your bookkeeping career with Intuit. Now, whether you're new to the industry or maybe you just want a refresher, it's designed with a community-first approach where we offer free courses and exams in both the tax and bookkeeping fields. So apart from being free, what are some other key incentives that Intuit Academy offers? First of all, you do not need prior experience to take this course. As you know, in today's job market, not having enough experience can be a tough hurdle to cross. The Intuit Academy will serve as a great starting point for you to get comfortable with the accounting industry in general so that you can learn at your own pace, take the exams on schedule that works for you. Now, second, if you already have some prior experience, you can skip the course and just go straight to the exam to showcase your knowledge. Either way, once you take and pass the exam, you will earn your Intuit Academy badge, which will help you stand out when you're applying for jobs at Intuit. So if you're interested, please do enroll for the Intuit Academy and get started today with your journey. All right, I'm jumping into our recruitment process now. All right, so I'm going to take you step by step through the QuickBooks Live process from recruitment to onboarding. So once you have submitted your application, a recruiter is going to reach out to you to set up a 20 to 30-minute phone interview. And during that call, the recruiter is going to share again the detailed information about the role, the requirements, and the expectations. Now, this invite usually comes through an email, so be keeping an eye out for your email, or you might just get a phone call from the recruiter. So once you've submitted that application, definitely be on the lookout. Now, following that initial phone screen, the next step is our virtual interview using a tool called HireView. You can complete this interview out of the comfort of your home. The interview will consist of some video questions, multiple choice questions, as well as written response. Now, during your interview, we will assess your QuickBooks Online and your bookkeeping knowledge, your research ability, your customer empathy, and your communication skills. So once you've completed that interview, our hiring managers will evaluate that and share your results. Your recruiter will follow up with you to let you know your results. Now, if you successfully pass the interview, your recruiter will be providing you a verbal offer where they will confirm the pay rate, our available start dates, and assist you with selecting and setting your schedule. The work schedules, again, are based on the QuickBooks Live hours of operation, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, we require you to commit to working a minimum of 20 hours each week, and there is a minimum shift requirement of 4 hours. Now, once you accept your offer, Intuit will prompt you to initiate your background check via a third-party vendor called HireRight. Your offer letter will then be sent to you through DocuSign, and you'll sign and do everything electronically. Now, once you sign your offer letter, there are a few additional steps to complete. You will need to submit your internet speed test. This is where we share your specific upload and download speeds that are required for the role. Your internet must be hardwired. We do not allow hotspots, cell phones, or satellite internet. So we'll then verify that you also have your QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor certification. Once all of those checks have been successfully completed, you'll receive an email with access to our Intuit Expert portal. This is where you will complete any additional new hire paperwork. You will have to complete your I-9 and your W-2 and provide your shipping address in order for us to send you your equipment for your first day, right? We're going to send you out a laptop. You'll receive your video camera, a USB headset, and that Ethernet cable to be able to hardwire, have hardwired internet. So once all of this onboarding is complete, you will start your training when your equipment has arrived. The training is going to be 2 weeks of paid training, which is going to be focusing on our tools, our systems, and our processes. Okay, so let's talk about that phone screen with your recruiter. What can you expect? Next slide, please. As I mentioned, you want to be prepared for a call anytime from your recruiter, or you can schedule on their calendar using a Canada portal invite. Again, that will be an email that'll be sent to you. Now, you'll want to make sure you have your resume updated and ready to submit. And once that call goes well with your recruiter and you get all your questions answered, you'll be able to take your digital interview. So a few tips for that. The interview generally takes about 60 minutes, probably a little less, but you want to set aside 60 minutes. Definitely be in a quiet area where there's going to be no interruptions. Again, ensure that you have strong internet connection and hardwire if you're able to. Highly recommend that you do use a computer or a laptop with audio and video capability if at all possible. The interview is going to be open book format, so you can use resources, web pages on the internet, any notes or books that you have. However, we do ask that you do not use any human assistance. That will disqualify you from continuing in the hiring process. Now, there are opportunities for you to take some practice questions at the beginning of the interview, so you can kind of get comfortable with the format. Each question and section will be timed. So just want to be mindful of that if you're researching some of your answers. Now, you'll want to make sure that you explain your thought process and elaborate, give us examples and details. And then, of course, just treat this like any other interview. You want to make sure that you're professional, explain your answers, and let your personality shine through. All right, back to Marissa for our last poll.
All right. Thank you so much for all that information. And I am excited to get us into the last poll. All right, we're going to go ahead and launch it out. And after getting all that information and hearing all of us speak today, we want to know, will you be applying to be a QuickBooks Live bookkeeper? Yes, the opportunity is a great fit for me. No, the opportunity is not right for me, and I am unsure at this time. We'll give a minute or so again so that everyone has an opportunity to answer. All right, just a few more seconds and we'll wrap it up because I know there's quite a few people here. I want to give everyone a chance if they want to get on and answer. Okay, let's wrap the poll and see what we got here. Okay, so 71% of you think it is a great fit for you. And 28% are unsure at this time, and that is more than okay. I hope that we have answered a lot of your questions and given you, a couple things here to think about. And of course, if we have any additional questions, definitely drop those in there. All right, so last slide, please. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you to our panel here, Viviana and Laura, for sharing with us also. If you have any last minute questions, please go ahead and add them to that Q&A box below. There is also going to be a survey link that is posted in the chat. If you do want to go ahead and provide us feedback before you do leave today, we would be excited to hear from you. Also, if you have not yet, go ahead and scan that QR code if you're interested in becoming a Intuit bookkeeper before you go. I did see a couple messages that the QR code wasn't working correctly, so I believe we did drop another link in the chat. So hopefully one of those work. If not, make sure that you drop it in the Q&A box that you just were having issues accessing the link so we can get that to you as well. Before I do say, have a great day and wrap it all up, I just want to list off some frequently asked questions that we do tend to see, because hopefully it might answer some of the things that have been asked today in the chat. So, are you allowed to work from any location outside of the United States? No, unfortunately. You must reside within the United States for these positions with QuickBooks Live. Unfortunately, that does not include Puerto Rico either. And will we receive benefits if we work those part-time hours? So yes, if you work the minimum 20 hours that is required for this position, you are eligible for the benefits we do offer as a select time employee. And again, minimum hours a week are going to be 20 hours a week. As far as the hourly rate, the best way to get an idea of the hourly rate would be to have a discussion with the recruiter, because there are going to be multiple factors that do go into that hourly rate. Another question we tend to see is that if we hire full-time, so you can choose a schedule to work up to 40 hours and the minimum is 20 hours a week. And this role, again, is going to be a select time employee. Is training paid? Yes, all of our agents will receive the 2 weeks of paid training. And Laura answered these other questions, but I'm just going to restate them in case if anyone missed them. How long does it take to obtain the QuickBooks certification? So it can take 8 hours to complete if you're doing the review, and then there are 5 sections of the exam, and the certification is free. Just a side note is that you are a W-2 employee in this position, and you cannot work for both TurboTax and QuickBooks Live at the same time. You are not able to do both roles at the same time with us. And of course, most importantly, you'll be on camera for this position. Awesome. So I just rapid fired some of those questions that we do see from a lot of our, applicants here that I wanted to go over. Again, please drop some questions in the Q&A box if you would like, and check out those links. Let us know if they're not working, and we will reach out to you after the webinar is wrapped. And with that, I want to say thank you again for staying on here with us. And I hope you all have a great day.